the wall. Team Reciprocity, the new kids on the block at the top of NA, look to fight off the storied veterans of Evil Geniuses, who are in line currently to make a run against G2 to make it to the finals, a rematch of last year's grand final, which we're all very aware of what happened in this city last year.
Yeah, the constant shutting down from EG of Jackal here, definitely interesting to see that they know how much they like to play Jackal on Reciprocity's side. I hope at some point Reciprocity were prepared for that, because did not seem to be the case on Bank, and this is now their map. Glaz going to be put out, so we're not going to have to watch Canadian play Glaz anymore, so he's done us all a solid there on that ban. And there goes the mirror. So 2 ops that were played somewhat last map will not be played here now, but Echo going to be consistent along with that Jackal. So that is the 2 consistent bans that are coming out from EG. So it's more just on Reciprocity side changing things up, as they had previously banned Thermite and Maestro. That does mean, though, we will have Maestro in play. So I got to imagine a huge impact on the map he debuted on here, as he pretty much always makes a huge impact, and some of that's not just due to his size.
And VK locking it in right away, picking the Maestro, and Aviator Games Room will be Evil Genius's primary defense to start things off, and Geo flashing a clash very early on. I don't know how realistic is he keeps that, considering Young would most likely be the shield player, and there we go. Geo gonna swap off in a 6-pick. Another 6-pick on the opposite side of the board from Reciprocity, coming out from Skies, a Capitao to a Buck, so seemingly reading that this clash is very unlikely and unrealistic, and swapping off to something with a little more vertical utility, I know how to speak, versus Capitao's very horizontal utility.
Well, I am a little surprised, not necessarily because Buck is not even more useful on this map, but just because Skies, I'm sorry, in this case it was Skies, not Fox. I was thinking Fox has played so much, but this is, besides not quite the same there, Skies is going to be taking that roll up, but Fox played so much Sledge on mini maps, it's surprising to see him not bring that here. Maybe we'll see it future rounds. But he is bringing something of a party here, hopefully going to be a little bit more effective on that than Sexy Cake was in their map there on Border last time. So NBK, though, is going to be definitely bringing that Maestro that we were expecting. They're also going to have something that G2 didn't feel like they needed too much, which is the Jaeger, bringing some of those ADSs to protect from those nades. But I can imagine Skies is going to be looking to try and get in, along with those Candelas. And I can imagine as well smoke canisters coming out from Blacksing. We'll be down to Retro to help take those out with those EMPs.
Typical hold so far for Evil Geniuses, as nothing has really changed from the strategy we've seen in the past. But Sky is going to start things off onto Canadian. I imagine it was on the far side. It was over in the walk-in closet by Master Bedroom.
It's a good thing he'd set down all those ADSs, didn't try and keep it in his pocket. Great initial pick there. That is the way to start things off on your map. Really make your mark early on and start to punish them. Just take control of the map as quickly as you can, drone well, communicate well, and just see if you can take that one single kill early on and snowball. But it is on to Canadian, the IGL, and he's just going to be spending this time watching cameras, calling things out for his team, using those evil eyes as well, and he's going to be watching those, better believe it. So I don't know if they really put that much hurt on the team. It's not uncommon to see Canadian die early on this map.
They'll have to survive the next minute and 45 seconds without Canadian. His remarkably powerful 416 carbine, your biggest fragging force on defense other than the Alda currently, as NVK holds that mantle. But you're down a man, you're waiting for Reciprocity to kind of tip their hand at where they're looking to coalesce and begin their ingress into the objective from.
Already lost their cams to the hacks from Laxing. So nicely done early on, because now that is going to make them have to face them consciously and make sure they know which way they're facing, which leaves a little bit less opportunity for Canadian to use them as freely, because now both teams have that same intel. So that is a nice use of that initial kill in terms of getting the hack cameras. Remember when hack cameras were just not much of a thing, and now how prevalent they are? Fantastic to see the gadget play always stepping up a notch after the operator debuts for a while.
Takes a little bit of time for that utility to be fully discovered, but after it does, it's remarkable what these players can come up with. And it's a 4-man stack inside of the objective. NVK still trying to hold off for both Study Balcony and the Aviator doors. A Candela will be botched to not make it through the doorway. Now NVK full blind, the third Candela coming in, and Foxay not pushing off it, but Mark is putting down the diffuser inside of Games Room. The ping's coming out, concussion nade slowing him down, and Geo will make it work with a team kill and a kill onto Mark with the Nitro Cell. Retro is filled right in his place though, and turning the corner but can't land the shotgun blast is Geo. NVK with a trade onto Fox A, and the plant will get down in mere milliseconds before Necrox can claim the life of Retro. It's a 2v2, Skies and Laxing, the old duo up against NVK and Necrox.
Speaking of old duos, well, this is definitely down to the wire again. This time they have 2 people left alive, something they didn't have in a lot of rounds, clutching out on bank here, and as time ticks down, Skies is gonna have to hold an angle and make it work.
Uses the skeleton key to blast away NVK, turning away just for a moment, but it'll be a trade between Necrox and Laxing, and Reciprocity will take round number 1 by mere milliseconds on that plant.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, having the plant down means if you trade in that situation as the attacker, it doesn't matter because plant being down, the defenders are not left alive to disarm it, so you automatically win at that point. I was impressed at how quickly they were able to get that plant down while distracting everyone with the Candelas. I think that definitely was a good show of just making it look like something else was going, making a bit more of a production while they used smoke to cover the plant. It was unfortunate that they were not able to stick it the first time, but the upside of that is GeoC4 did kill a teammate while that was going out, so stopping the plant did cost them a bit and ultimately gave them a second chance at the plant, which did win them the round, especially due to Skies holding the 1 angle on the diffuse cover. We'll see if they can repeat that, but a good start for them on their map. We'll see if they can pull it off as a nice little fun fact there about EG on Villa.
5-1 since adding Gotcha. The very first day they ever debuted it was that Week 13 game against SK back in Season 8, now known as Dark Zero, and they absolutely wiped the floor with that team, 6-1 on Villa. Well, EG will drop round number 1, not unlike they did on Bank, before running 6 back in a row of their own. So very possible we're in for a mirror image here. However, unlikely, as Reciprocity is fairly familiar with Villa and know how to operate.
I think at this point we're also going to need to pop up the fact of how many times Gotcha has had to play for the team since joining, because it has definitely been quite a few. Definitely been a struggle for them sometimes in terms of having that, but he does make for a nice little crutch. When you've got a coach that can play as good as him, something that Fnatic know well.
How many times Gotcha has DDoSed Geo to steal his roster spot, you mean?
It certainly worked out so far. Or poison his food, I suppose.
There you go.
Skies though looking, trying to get some angles early on, but no Canadian pick early in the round just yet. Although again, that is something we have seen happen quite a few times on Villa. He tends to get hunted. This time it is NVK with the drones coming at him, the hunt coming down. Fortunately, he is not able to stop the drone because it does manage to escape. Laxing, though, does have some nice drones to work off of. This is what they need to manage their drone economy here, because they do not have the Jackal, so the drones are that much more important in isolating these roamers and making sure they can actually execute on that and not lose those in the process to be able to continue to push from there. But Canadians also going to have some extra cameras to back up NVK's cameras, but they are also not going to have the ADSs this time. Laxing gonna repeat it. Canadian again, not long for this world.
First to fall once again on the far side of the map, this time downstairs will be Canadian, so no impact on the Villa game so far for the Canadian on home soil. The most impressive thing about Reciprocity on Villa is the way that they disperse and individually push from all angles. They collapse and completely smother you on Villa. It's impressive to watch because typically trying to play those individual games will not work out well for you. This guy's playing a little game with NVK, darting back and forth with the drone as we approach the last minute in the round, and NVK is going to go for a full-on flank on the far side as a Maestro.
Well, that is going to give them a chance to reload, as that drone was testing the capacity of that magazine. But Mark, in the meantime, is getting a lot of good intel, and this is looking like they're getting set up for this execute. They still have 55 seconds left, but they have all the intel they need on the position. The cameras are hacked. They can do their thing now. It's got to come out here soon, and that's where the Thatcher's working to make sure to clear out any goo mines that might impede their progress into the site, but replacement goo mines quickly come out.
NVK stunned at the aviator door, and Young battling back and forth on the other side of a pool table, and here comes Laxing angling in, trying to catch anyone off guard on the rotates or trying to get aggressive onto that study door. and go towards the bottom of red stairs. There's 25 seconds left, and here comes the push. Skies will rip right through Necrox, and now establishing a 5v3 as they all collapse into the objective. Hitting the deck and turning the corner will be Fox, able to be ripped to shreds by Young. Geo tacks on with a shotgun kill of his own, so leveling at 3v3. Mark on 5 HP will get shredded by NVK. There goes the diffuser. Shotgun point blank range by Geo. It's all up to Skies, twisting in the wind inside of Aviator. Not a lot of places to go. NVK on the quick peaks. The Nitro Cell will detonate. It won't matter. The time expires, and mirroring Bank, EG respond right back with a strong win of their own.
Great delays there in terms of stalling that out. And I got to credit a lot to the goo mines as well. You saw the shot attempting to come around on the vault, partially because he got goo mined mid-attempt at trying to peek around inside of the vault. He absolutely wasn't able to take that gunfight, got shot from another angle, and it just collapsed from there. You saw the control just fall apart. I like the way they changed out, though, when Skies needed to reload. He let Fox run in, but just, again, those goo mines, they were not cleared out at that particular position by the EMPs. I gotta imagine they weren't trying to telegraph it, and that smothering you were talking about trying to happen, just not working out due to being shut down too often. Again, Canadian dying early, he's just gonna be calling out everything he can. But again, I also gotta appreciate he is managing to give his phone up to Laxing every single round. He's like, you know what, bud, you just go ahead and take it from here. And unfortunately, it did not work out that round in terms of getting enough intel to be able to execute cleanly on that. We'll see how they go this time, as of course, they cannot play Aviator games again, so it's on to the secondary bomb site more often than not, and that's gonna be Trophy.
Almost terrifying. One of the most terrifying things about that Canadian's phone keeps getting hacked every single round very early on is the amount of cameras that Evil Geniuses are displaying. You've got both Evil Eyes, you've got 3 Black Eyes and the Valkyrie. You could be bringing a bulletproof camera on Young, although I highly doubt it, as that Nitro Cell is pretty important. But they're also losing a Nitro Cell in Canadian off rip.
Yeah.
They need to try and conserve him, or honestly, he needs to head to the basement or something and try and draw out the roam hunt. Because right now he's not killing enough time, not bringing enough utility. He's got to swap things up and get things rolling because he really is the focal point of that aggressive game on Villa.
I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised he's not playing Vigil, which is his kind of usual roam go-to when he's not playing Pulse, especially when they banned out Jackal, which is the one thing that can track Vigil. But at the same time, I guess he feels like the extra utility he's bringing to his team if he dies on roam, having the cameras up matters, but no, this time it's NVK to die first, who has again played that Jaeger, so it's the second initial Jaeger death for EG. Again, gotta imagine those ADSs were put up first, but either way, he is now put down first. And that was one of the top fraggers on the team, although in this case, a lot of times that's been Geo is put down. So a lot of flexible roam lost off the board. They've still got to find and shut down Canadian, although they're almost shutting down each other, jumping in just timed right to dodge those shots.
Very unfortunate peak there for NVK, as there wasn't just one Reciprocity member, there were 2 staring at that window. And droning out Young now, as he's playing in behind the bar. Launch got a Nitro Cell, it won't come close to connecting on anyone on Reciprocity. Now Sky's going for an immediate push through the vault. Young still playing in behind the bars. The drones will come out from Retro to confirm this. Canadian playing 90 in an attempt to support, but the Mute Chamber will keep the information away. Oh, but Canadian will rotate right into the waiting arms of Skies inside of the vault. So now Young will try and balance this out. Flashbangs come raining in. Partially blind Young, and he'll stand up and fight, and it'll be a trade right one after another. Skies will fall, but Fox down the immediate trade out, and now it's a 4v2 for Team Reciprocity to clap the site with.
Well, we've got 2 strong defenders left. Geo and Necrox has been a beast with that gun as well, but a whole minute to work with. They did lose some of the entry frag from Skies, but Fox and Laxing have both been in a lot of clutch positions, and they're both still left alive. This is completely doable for Reciprocity.
First set of toxic babes will come out on the side of Necrox. He's trying to delay the ingress of Team Reciprocity in through the hallways. Fox prone on the ground right now in the middle of statuary, just slug boying his way all the way in. And they both line up for him. He grabs one, just tags Necrox for the second one, but on the repeat, he lands it perfectly. And Reciprocity won't have a repeat of Bank. They get 2 out of the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's already as many rounds as they pulled off on Bank. So yeah, a good start for them because, well, they need to, as this is the last map they might get if they don't. And also it's their map. They need to be playing this at a level above EG because this is a good map for them as well. A map that they know very well. And you see a little bit of stress coming there, although I gotta admit, Young never really looks happy. So I'm not expecting too much out of that. But the swigs of water to calm things down. As they come in this next round, I think they're expecting a little bit of a hard fight from Reciprocity, and they're certainly getting it so far. But Canadian needs to live a little bit longer, even though he's the second kill that round. That is only slightly living longer. And a nice early kill on NVK, of course, was fortunate because once the kill came out onto Canadian, that left them in a great position to push forward from there.
Yeah, it's 3 consecutive rounds now. Evil Genius is still 1-1 in the case, but 3 straight rounds where they drop a member inside the first minute and have to play the majority of the round out 4v5. So for Evil Geniuses here, I get that you want to set the tone. I get that you want to continue over your winning ways from Bank. Maybe cool a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Play back.
I mean, that is the thing, is they are kind of cooling them off a little bit, and that is something that Reciprocity actually could play into, is the fact that they now may have some momentum. If you can cool EG down a little bit, they can also be an emotional team, something we've touched on a few times, because this is a game where emotions do affect your ability to aim. They affect your ability to focus, to pay attention, to listen for sounds, to pay attention to communicate to your teammates as well. So it's not everything, but it certainly matters in this game, and the ability to manage your emotions and your opponent's emotions is always going to be a factor, and something that Canadian especially could be prone to.
Foxay running right back to the IQ role, as 3-speed seemed to be his forte on both sides of the game, whether it be offense or defense, and he's had a lot of success lately on Reciprocity on his roaming duo with either Laxing or Skies, whoever they send out with him. And seems like Reciprocity, instead of pushing from the far side as a majority this time, will stack on the master balcony, angle their way in. They don't have any hard breaching though, and that's been a common theme for Reciprocity as well, not bringing a lot of hard breachers or even utilizing the hard breachers that they do bring.
Surprising how good Maverick is on this map. Well, they would not bring that, but do they got a plan for the possibility that he is going to be banned? It is surprising to see Canadian actually as well, bringing in an operator that once it's dead will not be bringing in additional utility, as he'd been playing Jaeger and Valkyrie, something that had the ability to put down their gadgets before dying. So in this case, it's all or nothing for him. He needs to make some peaks work.
Well, we got to give full commendations to Evil Geniuses. All 5 members making it out of the first minute alive, and that's a gold star for one of them.
Accomplishments.
Big success story, but they're still trying to lock down Astronomy. There's not a lot of pressure, active pressure right now for Evil Geniuses on Astronomy. They don't really have it locked down. Foxay has made it all the way up the Astronomy stairs. Zia waits a flank, and the first box of Babe from Necrox will come out. He tries to hold off from the side door, but the rappel coming out from Foxay, he tries to take a very long-range shotgun engagement, and it doesn't really work out very well. He hasn't landed a single shot on Foxay yet.
He's got to be careful though. He's given away his position a lot with his rope on rappel as well, but smokes starting to come out are going to be counteracted by smokes coming from Necrox again as well. So this window rappel not really doing a whole lot to actually get this plant down.
Just absolute chaos inside of Astronomy right now as 3 members from Reciprocity try and push in. 1 inside of Master, 1 downstairs holding the flank. NVK taking a lot of damage from across the way. Foxay will grab 2 as NVK and Necrox will both fall. Trying to get the plant down. Young will launch out the Nitro Cell and dispatch of Mark. There goes Geo taking down Foxay. An immediate trade from Retro onto Geo. So it's a 2v3 for Young and Canadian to try and work their way out of.
Well, Canadian living longer this time definitely bodes well for the team, along with the ability to heal himself and possibly a teammate up. Could make this clutch attempt more possible, but Laxing shutting that down immediately. It is all in Young, and he's already used his C4. It's not going to happen. Sky's cleaning it up. Nice round for Reciprocity, continuing that momentum. You got to wonder then what will happen when the sides switch. Will the momentum continue if it even makes it that far? But now, Evil Genius has got to decide, do we continue to push Trophy? Do we make the switch to Aviator Games now that we can? Because Trophy has not been a good one for them. And the fact that they don't seem to have a good secondary bomb site is a real problem for EG on defense, because the bottom bomb sites are just not that great.
Unsuccessful twice in a row over on the side of Statuary and Trophy. The replay on Foxay's pushed in the lineup for Necrox and NVK as Foxay dispatched of both of them with ease, and that was kind of the story. Is a lot of Astronomy pressure coming up from Reciprocity and not a lot of pressure back in response to the Geniuses in towards one of the linchpins of this objective, which is that Astronomy room, one of the most crucial pivot points on the entire map.
Well, definitely something that the repelling on the window, for as long as they did, actually didn't backfire on them. I'm a little surprised but it was the control of the room that they had at the same time, I think that mattered. They were controlling the stairs, they were controlling the room itself, they had the window to cover the flank while he was watching the stairs. It was good teamwork that helped with the push, but also some good kills. It was unfortunate for Mark that he did get C4'd partway through that plant, as it looked like he was going to be able to stick it otherwise, but just good read from Young, who is very good at stopping those plants, so I'm not surprised there. But Mark looks like he could be bringing out something that I was talking about earlier. Surprising not to see before then, but here it is.
Well, back to Aviator and Games Room will go for Evil Geniuses. We're 4 rounds out of 6 into the first half before sides will swap and Evil Geniuses will head to the attack, Reciprocity to the defense, and once again, Reciprocity bringing this high-tempo lineup. Lots of 3 speeds, lots of ability to maneuver with ease, lots of high rate-of-fire weapons on the side of Reciprocity's attack. And it's been a problem for EG to contend with right now. The fragging force and the collapse from all directions really being the issue for EG to try and contend with against Reciprocity. There's not much time to be able to react, and it's almost similar to the way that EG were pushing the basement on bank last game, the last map, in which it's just an absolute fiesta of utility dumped into one room and as much firepower as possible pushing through.
And I feel like while it's Fox and Skies on, or I'm sorry, Fox and Laxing on defense, it seems to be Fox and Skies on offense when it comes to utilizing those 3 speeds, becoming kind of the spears of the attack. Because we've seen both of them doing very good work with that, especially Skies. And it seems to be working very well. Like you said, that aggression absolutely paying off. But it's funny to see the duos kind of switch up, Fox kind of being the pivot point for both of those. Laxing has managed to get some kills as well, though, but he's definitely been pivotal in making sure that those early hacks deny them a lot of the utility. There is going to be 1 camera down. Canadian is trying to play the cameras again because, well, he didn't get a lot out of that dock. Even when he was in that clutch situation, he was the first to go. So we'll see if NBK can survive a little bit longer this time again on the Maestro. Could be a big difference maker here in terms of making this work. But last time Young playing on the Legion definitely made a difference, I think.
Well, that's 2 Valkyrie cameras taken away at the hands of Foxeye with that electronic sensor. And once again, it's Reciprocity stacking majorly for the study balcony and study push, but on the other side, the Skies on the Ash, pushing from trophy onwards, try and clear out anyone playing it.
Oh, look at Mark looking at his teammate's screen to decide exactly where to do this.
Toxic Babe will come out to repel Mark off the wall, and there goes Canadian with a deagle as he ran out of ammo on the MPX and escapes with his life. So finally, Canadian is not the opening pick. He acquires the opening pick, and it's Laxing, so no one's phones can get hacked for the rest of the round. A good response here. Those are also the only smokes on the side of Team Reciprocity, one of the biggest proponents of havoc for Reciprocity when they go for their site execute.
Now, again, keep in mind, though, Canadian not only was low on health, but he is now finished off by Fox. But like you said, at least his camera is not going to go. But this time, Mark also taking a lot of damage, down to about 50 HP. Hopefully did what he needed for his team to get set up for this possible plant here. So far, he is the one to try and make that plant on such low health. Could be a big mistake, could end up with Diffuser down inside the room.
Mark taking a lot of damage from impact nade detonating point blank range through the doorway, and now the blowtorch coming out again to try and find some nice little punch holes in towards the vault that NBK currently holds down, and Mark just spamming wildly through. So there's 30 seconds remaining. It's coming down to a 4v4 and another massacre inside the objective, all rushing through one door, it seems, as they all stack outside a study and the 90 hallway. About to push the door, and NBK lying in wait with the Alda primed and ready to go. A push into Aviator, and a second one through the door. NBK will grab one on the Skies, he downs the second one, trying to go for 3. NBK! He gets them all! A triple kill in about 5 seconds. And Evil Genius is responding kind, bringing one back, only down 1, with 1 round remaining in the first half.
Well, unfortunately for Reciprocity, they got delayed time and time again on trying to make that push. Having Mark on low health definitely made the actual plant attempt just that much more difficult, and his 6 pick over to the Maverick wasn't enough to change things up that round. But again, it does force Evil Geniuses right back to their weak bomb site of Trophy. So that is the price you pay for being EG and winning Aviator games, is you get 2 rounds out of it on your defense if they cannot change things on Trophy. Some great plays from a lot of the team, but just unfortunately not enough against that. Alda just NBK spraying wildly into the smoke is, well, that's all you need to do with 80 bullets and a heck of a gun.
80 bullets, a remarkable fire rate, and pretty manageable recoil. But that was last round. This is the last round of the first half on Villa, the second map. EG dominating Bank, take the first map 7-2. This one's a little bit of a closer contest on Villa, currently 3-2 in the favor of Reciprocity, and Evil Geniuses looking to equalize before heading into the second half. And to be honest, on Villa, it's more of a defender-sided map, so the fact that they've struggled on this particular bomb site quite a lot against Reciprocity is going to be an issue down the road.
And I gotta imagine those map bans, or the operator bans might have factored a little bit into that. And like I said, EG was consistent with their bans from Bank, whereas the change-ups were coming out from Reciprocity's side. We'll see, though, if they can continue the streak, or if EG, having played this bomb site enough times now, has figured out what they were doing wrong. Not a huge amount of change-ups on their defense, but there are some changes. Will they be enough, as Reciprocity themselves are not changing up a ton either? It's just down to who can get some of those initial picks, or whether or not one team's going to get stalled out trying to press for the plant. See a lot of the, so that Fox and Sky's duo, that there's 6 kills there at the top of their team. Sky's, though, going to continue his success, trying to push things in, looking for hitting those cameras. That Canadian's going to be sprinkling around the map like so much magic. So he's looking for opportunity here as well to try and do some work for his team. But he needs his team to follow him up soon here. Otherwise, those drones aren't going to be doing a ton for them.
Well, and that seems to be the contrast between Bank and Villa, is that Skies is present again, having a meaningful impact on the game in every single round, pushing force that is hard to contend with, instead of just twisting in the wind and not really having much of an effect on Bank. Stark contrast here, but there's other members of Reciprocity that have fallen off, and it looks like, again, Reciprocity will stack for the Astronomy take. Overwhelming force stacking towards Astronomy in the master bedroom as they wait to push through. And then the only real flank possible will be up the Astronomy stairs, and that's been shut down multiple times by Laxing holding the flank downstairs. So limited opportunities here for EG to really try and surprise Reciprocity. It's most likely, again, going to come down to that 4v4, 5v5s. They completely surrender Astronomy, and here comes Skies just slow walking his way in. He's turning the corner on a standing up Young, and he'll eviscerate him with no contest. First Toxic Babe comes out from Necrox, and MVK will lead straight out. Fox takes shotgun point blank range from Necrox. Well, drop down Mark and the diffuser surrendered. MVK busting out of the far side to try and return and help out the rest of the team with a minute remaining.
Not only is that diffuser dropped, but this other diffuser dropped right near Necrox, who can now use smokes to deny it, and he might not need to because Laxing is going to fall as well. So it is all down to Retro and Skies, but Retro proving his own.
Picks up one onto NVK, waiting for the return back to site. It's Retro and Skies stuck in at 2v3 now after Retro got the first kill. Skies still inside of Astronomy, full blinds Necrox, but he allows the flash to expire, and on the ground, point blank range. Now Skies and Retro will collect themselves inside of Statue. Waiting for the peek on the ground once again is Retro. Can't get off the ground. He's missing a lot of shots, but he stalls long enough for the timer on the diffuser to go down. And Nitrocell will land. Aaron, a flank now by Necrox and Canadian. A pinch from either side leaves Retro alone in a 1v3, coming to blows up against Necrox and shuts him down inside, but Canadian is already counter-diffusing, and Retro is nowhere near. All Geo has to do is hold it out. He'll get the kill. Evil Geniuses equalize. It's a tie game as we head into the second half.
Well, now it'll, of course, be down to Reciprocity to have a much better defensive game than we saw out of EG. Otherwise, their best hope at that point is just going to be overtime. See, Sky's a little dismayed after his best efforts that round, but he's definitely been making them. He's made them on attack, did not have a huge impact on defense on Bank. This is where he needs to continue whatever hot streak he might be having onto the defensive side if they want to make this work, because the combined effort of Skies, Fox, and Laxing would be a force to be reckoned with here for EG. Laxing going to be sneaking onto a pick, possibly? No, he's not. He is going to allow Skies to sneak. This could be Canadian trying something. I suppose he has played quite a bit of good Ash, so we'll see how that works out for him.
I imagine it's just a change of pace for him, considering he had quite the lackluster first half, only really being influential on that last round there, and that's kind of unfortunate for the guy who really sets the tone and brings the energy, the hype for your team. And it really sets the tone for the entire squad. And we've talked about it plenty of times before. Evil Geniuses are a team that need a full team effort. Everyone jumping in all together. One person starts to slow down, they all start to slow down. But man, when they're all cranking, it's hard to slow them down.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, Laxing can be a bit more impactful than he was on attack a lot of the times, though, with that individual. It's definitely going to be something they're going to have to do with, because they also lose out on that Jackal, so they cannot benefit from the ability to track him down. So again, I was surprised to not see Canadian on those plays, although he was not hugely impactful on a lot of his operator roles, so I suppose it wouldn't have made that much difference, because again, he wouldn't have left any utility behind other than possibly a bullet camera had he played on that role. So see this round, we are still going to have Legions coming out from Fox, who was playing quite a bit of Legion on Bank as well, somewhat successfully. This guy's actually going to be on the mute. Something could get some impact out of here, but it's also going to help deny a little bit of intel, as well as maybe even help Laxing stay alive a little bit longer. Fox, though, is going to be doing his own roam thing. Nice fact there about Reciprocity winning a lot of their entry duels. I think a lot of those also got to be credited to this map.
Absolutely, and also credited to the awakening of Skies. Definitely having a resurgence. Oh, NVK up to the floorboards. Blast Retro back to the Shadow Realm. That's an early pick for Evil Geniuses to start things off. That's your smoke gone too. Trying to look through some kill holes in the floor with a shotgun. It's a bad look there for Reciprocity to start things off. And Evil Geniuses getting closer and closer. They only need 4 rounds to have a rematch with G2.
Yeah, Retro did not need to be peeking that hole right there. And now that is going to start to skew the opening duels stat slightly more in favor of EG, because now they've got those kills. That is going to be an important one to push on the site, because goo mines are the only thing that's really going to slow them down on the site push, other than the C4 coming out from Skies potentially. Goo mines, though, gonna do exactly that right off the bat, slowing down this entry, as there's now only 1:15 left to actually make this push happen. Although we could see some of those goo mines actually go out due to this shock drone from Geo, and he's gonna at least take out this camera. So something getting there.
He's also leaving it at 90 for a flank drone, just to give calls on anyone rotating around, and it looks like Laxing will be the man to flank if there should be one. Waiting over by the aviator door to try and push in, or go for a flank through 90 down the long hall outside of the games room. Foxay's taking a lot of damage downstairs, and he's gone for a rotation all the way to the basement. It looks like he'll be coming up towards Canadian, who's just landed on a Legion mine. We'll come to blows in just a few moments here.
Well, Elite's hole's been open up angles that are being fought now, but Young, unfortunately, just not fast enough to use his own holes to win that gunfight. These holes, however, will also become entry points that will be predicted by the members of Reciprocity. They've just got to play whatever angles they can at this point, but very good gains by EG. However, 18 seconds remaining, and a nice starting kill by Necrox there.
Unfortunate timing for Laxing as he stands up into a hailstorm of bullets connecting with his skull. Another one for Necrox. Foxay, though, will trade it immediately out. It's a 2v3. Foxay still trying to repeat back to the site. And Young and NVK have site control. Canadian coming upstairs. They need to get the plant down, though. And busting out of the far side is Foxay, last man alive as the plant is going down. Holding the door is NVK with a double kill. A triple kill on the round for Nathan Valenti. And we move forward with Evil Geniuses now up 4-3, taking the lead on Villa, 3 rounds away from the semifinals.
Well, that is definitely not the place you want to be in. Had they won map 1, not as big a deal, but now they go from having the lead to losing the lead. Reciprocity gonna have to pull out whatever big guns they had left, and this is where you cannot afford to save anything for the final, because you need to just get there. EG, on the other hand, have been there plenty of times. Reciprocity have yet to make their mark on there, although, like I said, some of the players have in the past, but it's been a while for some of them. They've definitely been denied that by EG and G2 in the past. So they're going to have to work extra hard on this, and this is where they're also going to have to do that counter-stratting that Canadian's famous for. We need to see that from Reciprocity, or they're just going to be wiped off the map here, because, well, it's only 2 points away from match point against them.
Well, Reciprocity will reattempt the Aviator and Games Room defense, as clearly that came down to a 1v2 and a 2v2 just moments prior, so it wasn't the worst round in the world for them, but it was really the expert play from both Necrox and NVK on beautiful, beautiful picks onto anchors holding down slight angles. good demonstration of marksmanship there from Evil Geniuses as they were kind of running low on time, and it seems like that's been the theme of the day on Villa is time control and time management, not at 100% for any team really today.
I'm interested to see if the Maverick coming out from Geo is going to make any more of an impact than it did for Reciprocity. It is something that is often banned on this map because of his ability to use that horizontal play from his ability to open a lot of walls. It's something that Fabian had said in the past, is if a map is horizontal, Maverick is going to get some kind of advantage on it because he's not trying to use it in vertical way. But we've actually seen that shift. He's become more of a hatch operator, especially on bank. But Geo being the smart player is, I got to imagine he's going to get some advantage out of this here, and hopefully not going to be in the same situation we saw Mark with, when he was also the attempted planter, because Young is going to be the one in this case, so might get a bit more out of it, assuming he doesn't stick his face right in the holes and get shot straight between the eyes.
Yeah, honestly, I think at the end of that round, if Reciprocity still have Retro and those 3 Toxic Babes, I don't think Evil Geniuses come away with that round just because of how low on time they were and how much of a stall factor Retro could have been. They didn't breach through any walls. They weren't creating new pathways into the objective. They were pushing the same doors that Reciprocity were on their attacks. A couple of smoke canisters and maybe everything goes a different way. But it was a good start for Nate on the round. NVK will now come to blows against Foxay inside a study, who's currently playing on the study hatch, and he's kind of locked himself in a corner here, a rock in a hard place, and he doesn't actually have a rotate out as his hatch is still sealed.
It is unfortunate for them. They also don't have the Maestro, who would be perfect to cover this doorway here, just spraying fire like you see right there, because he'd be able to do a lot more cover fire than you see. But the nice rotation angle here from Necrox is really going to pin things down. But at this point, I suppose he acts as bait. Missed shots from that. He's not there anymore.
The hatch will eviscerate, and he will fall directly through it down into Piano downstairs, and they'll hold the flank. Oh no, NVK not paying attention. Oh my! The whiff by Mark and the reaction by NVK gives him another tap just for good measure. Canadian tacking on, taking down Foxay on the reattempted rotation back into study.
Well, that extra goo mine definitely going to put a little bit extra hurt in NVK, but the fact that he's still alive, they maybe even have a little bit of time left to reset him if it comes to that, but I don't think they're going to bother. They're just going to push with all they have, use the utility, start to open up angles as they've done, and now Retro is going to be the key in stopping this, as you mentioned about previous rounds, along with 2 potential C4s here.
2 Toxic Babes remaining on Retro. He's already used 1, and these mute chambers really stalling out the intel gathering possibilities for Evil Geniuses. Laxing awaiting Canadian's entry in through this window, but all it takes is 1 person looking across the way from inside of the aviator door to establish a crossfire. Looking in through these Maverick holes now is Geo. It's a bad place to be right now if you're a Reciprocity defender trying to hold out inside the bar. Hibana charges coming out onto the wall. Sky's going to press all the way up to the study door, thrown on the ground with a shotgun. There's only 10 seconds left, Sky's with 1 point-blank range, but it gets ripped right through by the SMG-12. They need to push right now, though. It's a bloodbath at the doorway. Canadian takes one down, Plank going down. It's all up to Retro, trying to go for the flank through study, but he's whiffing on the shots. Turns the corner with the shotgun. No! He gets the plant down. Retro with the 1v2 clutch. Pushing right away with the flank through study, and they'll equalize again. Reciprocity bring one back that they probably should not have had.
I gotta imagine Retro checking his drawers at this point. You could see that sigh of relief as he just barely pulled that off. That should not have worked. A little bit of slow shotgun play there, ultimately costing a bit from Skies, as well as he should have been able to go for that second shot, just did not pull the trigger in time. That moment of hesitation, bringing the team to the brink of that round, but that does, as you mentioned, equalize things out. So that gives Reciprocity a little bit of breathing room to be able to try and take their way back here. But we only saw 3 and 3 come out from the first half. If we see a similar situation here, still not a good position to be in for Reciprocity because of losing that first map. It is interesting to see them not bringing the Maestro at all, though. It's just, it's something you get so much play out of. Yes, Dokkaebi was hacking the cameras a lot of the time, but I don't think that is a huge concern for EG, and it might not be much of one for you. So we'll see, though, if they could change things up this round. As we get into the next round, it's going to be interesting, as now we are going to see Capitao in play, and how much of an impact that might have.
The biggest problem, again, is that time control. There's 4 seconds left on the clock, and you're still not in the objective for Evil Geniuses. You got to be kicking yourself on that one. And like I said, that's been the story of Villa for this entire day, and honestly the entire week, is Team's time control so far on Villa has just been a nightmare. There hasn't been really a lot of breaching opportunities because of the prevalence of impact tricking. It's just been so dominating lately. It's been so difficult to deal with too on Villa that there's never really any breaching opportunities unless you're just clearing out some footholds with some Hibana charges or you're bringing a Maverick. And
that, yeah, is part of the reason why you see Maverick played so often and banned as well, to give the defenders that advantage. There is the Hibana being brought, but obviously Thermite is not banned like he was on Banks, but teams just don't want to risk having to deal with it. It's more often than not, teams now shotgun the floor up to try and help prevent that. I think there are still some edge case scenarios where you can kind of get around it, or if they don't shotgun it properly enough. But that's why you see that shotgunning at the top of the wall. For those of you new to the game, the impact tricking means they shotgun open the top of there for walls that don't go all the way up to the ceiling. If you throw an impact nade towards the top of that wall, when a thermite charges attempt to go off, or X Kairos that are high enough, it will destroy those due to the splash damage. And is something that has become a huge part of strategy this game, much akin to bandit tricking.
Foxay playing with fire once again as he almost rotates all the way into Master towards the bed in the middle of the room as Evil Geniuses were all collapsing around the balcony. And this time he'll think better of it and won't utilize an impact grenade to drop down a hatch to his immediate demise at the hands of Canadian, who is still downstairs clearing things out. And I imagine Canadian will eventually work his way over towards the astronomy stairs, where it appears that Laxing is currently playing as a Mute with a shotgun SMG loadout, the most popular loadout for Mute nowadays.
Well, we'll see if that has an impact. It did last round, but Canadian, the first kill there, again onto Mark. He's done a bit early. He's kind of taking up Canadian's mantle, and that is not retro this time, which is definitely helpful, but he's not on the smoke. That's up to Skies this time, who was a little hesitant on the shotgun last time. So we'll hope Laxing can play a little bit of a better Mute. It's going to be tricky as already Evil Geniuses starting to pressure their way towards that site, and they've got some speed on their hands, as well as the ability to work their way through ADSs with Capital, and a flurry of kills coming up from EG, not going to make that any easier.
Even more drones coming out as Canadian will isolate and finish off Laxing. It's Foxay alone in a 1v5. Insurmountable task. NVK will shut it down, retaking the lead. Our Evil Geniuses 2 rounds away from the semifinals.
It is certainly looking like a strong possibility here. But at the same time, Reciprocity could bring this back. But you look at the kills on either side of the screen there, and you see a lot more potential from EG this moment, unfortunately, for Reciprocity. A lot of frustration come out from these guys, especially those who have been there before, who know it's possible, who know they could get there. And that chemistry on this team, the camaraderie, the mistakes in the way that they're correcting them, how they're working together as a team, I think they're going to be pretty disappointed in themselves. But at the same time, they did go down to the losers bracket and recovered from there. So they are hoping they could turn that into something. But you know what? They made it to the stage, and that is the most important thing here. So even if they go out now, they go out swinging against what is always the number 2 team here at these events, and that's no slow brag there. So we'll see if Trophy can be the site. Again, they're going to try it one more time because they cannot go back to Aviator. No one wants to go down to that bottom floor unless they absolutely have to. And the fact that no one can consistently win Trophy is making it that much easier, I suppose.
Trophies. Well, we're going to go to attack timeout for Rec, as they take a little bit of time to talk it out in prep phase or operation pick phase. But they decide they need a little more time. And honestly, when your back's against the wall like this, there's a good possibility you're going down 6-4 based on the objective you've selected. I'd understand the inclination to go for attack timeout at exactly this point. And that's the thing, is we haven't seen either of the downstairs bomb sites played at all throughout this game. We were entering round number 10. And it looks like as the tack timeout will expire, they will walk in Trophy and Statuary. So for the 10th consecutive round, we will either be Trophy or Aviator. No difference, and it seems like Aviator is the strong point, Trophy is the weak point, and it's whoever's gonna shake the trend and find a different defensive site to win with, or find a solution to Trophy that will most likely run away with Villa. Whether that's Evil Geniuses or Reciprocity, that will dictate whether or not we even need a third map.
I do wonder if the technical timeout was in any relation to the 6th pick coming out from Laxing in terms of giving that additional intel by getting those black eyes up and being able to sneak some of those in, something Canadian was doing a lot, as we saw on his defenses. But again, I still got to wonder why no Maestro. I mean, yes, they have won a fair amount of defensive rounds, but I feel like a lot of firepower came out on EG in terms of that. They were able to do a lot with it. You saw with the NVK as well, just creating a lot of pressure for his team. Even when it didn't work, it was still somewhat effective in delaying. Laxing, though, going to be on the roam, something he's been very good at. This is an operator he is very, very strong on. So not a huge surprise, though, to see that come out, at least from him. Fox also, I got to imagine, going to be roaming on his op, something he's been doing plenty of. It is always interesting to see a roaming Legion, just because if you are not really good at surviving, you're not going to get maximum usage out of it. But he's actually proven he often will survive long enough to get the majority of those goo mines off. So certainly not something I question coming from him. Retro, again, not going to be in that smoke. That is going to be on Skies. It is a lot of weight on his back to try and hold that out, because Retro did unfortunately lose his life 1 round early just by peeking through a hole in the floor. But Laxing bringing those cameras here is of course going to be the worry that those get hacked from Necrox if they're able to find any of those early picks.
Devices going down.
Slower goings here for Evil Geniuses. No immediate pick in the first 30 seconds from Canadian, as I imagine he's a little more wary of his entry, and I imagine he's droned out Laxing downstairs in the basement, his favorite spot to make an entry on Villa. And EG slowly progressing from the west side east and on both floors simultaneously. And there's a heavy stacking of Evil Genius attackers downstairs currently, as they're very worried about any roamers trying to attempt to flank. And you've got one Reciprocity defender in the kitchen, and you've got another one all the way downstairs, but Foxe is going to go for a jump out of the walk-in closet window and shut down Geo to start things off.
Well, they didn't have a lot of soft breach on here, but the ability to use a breach charge there to open up one of the castle barricades will benefit them a bit, as that will only leave 2 more castle barricades they can deal with otherwise. And of course, the Ash of Canadian could be all that they need to open those both up from a distance, or even using Hebon X Kairos if necessary. So they've got enough utility to make this work without delaying too much on time, but they've already burned 2 minutes, and they're the ones down a player here. So this could be another round comeback we see from Reciprocity if they can play that time smart. And if we see good C4 smoke and goo mine usage to delay that further.
Sprays in through that closet from NVK. He had previously droned out Skies in there, and oh, a flank from Canadian coming up the astronomy stairs. Knifes out the goo mine as he slowly makes his way up, and he'll take down Retro. Pre-fires into the rotate, but Foxe will drop Necrox and NVK on the flank. Skies with another one. It's all up to Young, turning and twisting inside of the site. In the midst of smoke, he's got 2 on his main stairs. He vaults into his demise, and Reciprocity will equalize once again. It's a 5-5 game on Villa. First to 2 will take the map.
You can see Skies just breathing out, just, whoo, we're so close here. And then Fox trying to cheer up his team, trying to make sure they could continue this. Yeah, they've got to pull out the Noah Rango box face moves if they want to keep this going. Because this is going to need a lot of steam left when it seems like they can't ever really get a significant lead over EG. That's not a way to win a map. You really need to put some pressure on, because EG certainly showed that on Bank. So this is, I mean, you go into the last map, and that is a map EG certainly can win as well. So just making it to map 3 is certainly not a sigh of relief, and they're not even close to it at this point if they can't get some momentum.
It's a dead even split, 5-5, not only in the score, but the attacker versus defender win rate. And finally, after 10 rounds, we
Thank you, Fox.
a new objective on a new horizontal plane. Kitchen and dining room will finally be selected in the 11th round, and a Maestro will also come out from Foxe. Some adaptations being made from Team Reciprocity. It seems like it might be a little late, but they're still in this game. All they need to do is hold off for 2 rounds to force map 3, and it's an all-new ballgame.
Now, of course, I got to imagine the Maestro pick isn't because they're trying to do something different so much as it is part of their strat for this particular bomb site. But I got to wonder, though, if the decreased mobility of Fox will impact on their ability to get those flanks out, and they'll depend on some of the more mobile defenders here, in this case possibly Laxing, to really put a lot of work in. Because, well, you're not going to be roaming around the map too heavily with Maestro. They do have a change-up at who's playing Castle, as well as Mark's going to be taking over that role from Retro, who's now back on smoke. Skies again on mute as well, so shifting things up just a little bit, but also a little bit back to what they've been doing before in terms of operating lineup, with the exception of Fox. So hopefully for Reciprocity's sake, Laxing is going to be able to do some good flank work earlier in the round, something they were having trouble with on Bank, which is getting those early picks. They need to be getting maybe a bit more of that. We saw Fox especially getting some good ones last round.
Two-man top hold currently for Reciprocity upstairs. And Canadian has made it all the way to the bottom of Astronomy stairs. Looks like he's going to be facilitating a flank. He spots an ADS and the default camera, sees that it's not on and no one is watching. He wants to do this as silently as possible, and Necrox will take down Retro. Laxing still in behind the Astronomy rotate. He's going to drop down the hatch and give chase to Canadian and meet him on the way down. Good catch there from Laxing to equalize in man count. It's a 4v4, and you're a good start there because you take down Retro again early. The smoke dispatched of versus the ash. You're in a much better place if you're Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in too because you've got to maintain top floor control as well, something that doesn't have to be said for the top bomb sites in the sense of vertical play. Laxing finally gets punished, but it's after taking down 2.
Laxing firing across the way will take down Mark and give EG a slight man advantage as Foxay was also coming upstairs in support. It's going to be an absolute war zone inside of Master across the way to Trophy, but he'll return to Tarps. And he'll join Skies inside of Dining Room, trying to lock down the objective. They have 1 Nitro Cell remaining, and obviously the Alda is going to be extremely lethal at all ranges with that extreme fire rate and magazine capacity. But this is a good look here for Evil Geniuses. You still have a minute remaining. You've completely cleared out the top floor. You've done all your displacing you could possibly do as far as breaking up some of the floorboards. You're out of soft destruction, so you need to convert for a site execute. A little bit more information coming out from Evil Geniuses, and they'll have plenty of time and plenty of utility to facilitate that. Young carrying the diffuser and smokes in Nectaroc's hands. It looks like they want to push in through the dining closet.
Unfortunately, a big thing working against them as well is there are cams, as you can see, available to be hacked through those phones left dormant. If he hasn't already doing so, that's going to make those Evil Eyes a little bit less effective. There is at least a C4 in Sky's hands. That's going to be potentially the game changer against that smoke. But that's about it here to equalize things up. There is that C4 going out. Unfortunately, lands on no one now. This is a big problem, but only 15 seconds left.
NVK going for the flank through Tarps, and they're still being repelled at this immediate entrance. Holding the doors, Foxay, a good spot there. Necrox going one-on-one against Skies, but Foxay lights them all up, mows them all down, and Reciprocity put themselves on match point, staving off that elimination point. 1 round away from forcing map 3, Evil Geniuses 1 round away from forcing overtime, at which point it'll be down to whoever picked which side to defend, because we don't have a coin flip.
Yeah, I believe, I think it will be going blue side, you know, the team starting attack over to defense first, as I believe that is what they picked. But good change-ups there, not only going to a bomb site that isn't the secondary and mostly failing one, but also the Maestro play. And you saw that factor in similar to the way it did for NVK in terms of mowing down the attackers when they feel like they have the man advantage and they're going to have to push into you because just time left is so low. And I got to say, he brought his own deployable shields and absolutely made work of it. So Fox smartly playing his own setup there at the very end when time was working against them. But also a great roam by Laxing. I was talking about a lot of work was going to be there on Laxing's shoulders on that roam because Fox wouldn't be roaming with him. And Laxing did not disappoint, picking up Canadian and then another one before getting killed, and now also buying their team a lot of time. Now, of course, they can go back up to Aviator, so they're going to do so. And if they can manage to pull this off, then of course we go to map 3. If not, then we go to overtime, and then we'll see if Reciprocity continuing their streak on defense first will matter or not. But Necrox is bringing out the first wildcard for their team now that we saw the wildcard come out from Fox with Maestro. Necrox is going to surprise with the Candelas and see if that makes a huge impact here or not. As there still is ADSs in play, at least from Mark.
It's a terrifying prospect that if you're an Evil Geniuses fan, the early domination you had on map number 1 could all be for naught, as Reciprocity are less than 3 minutes away from possibly sending this to a map 3 immediately. Although, on the Evil Geniuses side, you do have Necrox pulling out the Ying, like you said, a big surprise. Geo swapping over to the Sledge as well for some frag grenades, as long as they can burn out using NVK's EMPs. Dispatch of those ADSs inside of the objective and start launching out those frag grenades and displacing those anchors, making sure that they're stuck and locked down in easy to pick off positions. They'll have a very good time executing on the site. But once again, there's mute jammers all over the place, stopping out the progression of drones and gathering of intel, and I'm waiting to see if Young will actually be able to breach open any wall inside of Aviator or Games Room this time.
Well, at least they're droning out enough to make sure that those EMPs are going to make sure to take out at least mute jammers, as there's no bandit or anything, of course, to stop those walls from being opened in that sense. He's going to throw down his second one now. They've determined that that is clear. And we are probably not going to have Canadian doing a lot of flashing in with his flashbangs to clear out those ADSs. As he very often doesn't make it towards that side execute, going to be playing off on his own, which unfortunately more often than not on Villa especially does not work super great. But there is going to be clearing out instead coming from Young. He's going to be burning as much of the ADSs as possible. Necrox, though, going to have to make sure to use those candles when it matters, but they do not have any smokes to go along with them, so they're going to have to hope they blind as many people as possible in the room, because no smoke is going to be available to actually cover the plant, so they need to storm in alongside those, get some frags with them, and one frag grenade left in Gio's hand will help with that.
First frag grenade went soaring beyond the bar. An impact tricking coming out. A few more pellets will detonate on the wall, but it won't be enough to crouch through. And now Young will expend his last round of X-Kairos, and he'll get impact tricked away immediately. So, unable to crouch through this hole, they will again be forced to push through doorways with 45 seconds left as the first toxic bait comes out. Canadian holding flank for Laxing on the back. Candela's come out, but Laxing laying in wait. Skies as well will grab one of his own onto Necrox. There goes the Ying after only one Candela. This does not look good for Evil Geniuses with only 30 seconds remaining.
Well, there goes Gio as well, falling to Laxing, doing a fantastic job on his flank. Young and MVK, though, are both clutch masters, but getting traded off there. Now MVK only one left. He gets a second.
That's 2 for him. He'll need the 1v5 ace clutch in mere seconds if EG are going to keep themselves alive on Villa, or we're going to map 3, right up against the wall, whipping out the pistol in a crossfire now from the opposite side of the bar. 4 seconds left, and ladies and gentlemen, we are going to map 3 between Reciprocity and Evil Geniuses. Crazy back and forth game between Rec and EG on Villa ends up with Reciprocity winning map 2, 7-5.
Definitely looked like it was going to be a hard comeback, to be honest. I mean, even though it was their map, even though they started off strong, as that started to slip away, as EG were able to take back those 3 rounds on their defense, just didn't seem like we were going to see Reciprocity able to muster enough confidence to do it. But I just feel like we started to see that change after some really close calls coming out in their favor on some of those defenses. Just seemed like they finally started to get just enough confidence to pull it ahead. But it also was down to some really good plays coming out from Laxing that we didn't see from them on attack. I feel like Laxing's strength absolutely seems to be on defense and his ability to roam on that. We saw that especially the last few rounds. His ability to just pull off some of those kills. Fortunately, a lot of that, I hate to say it wasn't on Retro's side on all those defenses, but Fox still pulling his own weight as well. Again, we see Fox and Laxing on defense, Fox and Skies on attack.